Hi guys, it's Jess from Honest Fiction and welcome back to my channel. Stick around to hear my birthday book haul. Alright guys, so it was recently my birthday and my family and friends were super generous and bought me a bunch of books and bookish merch. I am so grateful. I was excited about a lot of these releases. Most of the books on this list are new releases that were released either in September or October. Also, my birthday falls right around the start of spooky season, so there's a decent amount of horror and thriller on this list. Also, some graphic novels that have a whole spooky vibe that I'm very excited about. And there's a decent amount of YA fantasy. Two in particular are continuations in series that I'm so excited to get to, and then a couple romance because you have to throw those in there. But yeah, if you're unfamiliar with my channel, I post videos every Thursday and Sunday. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. And if you're not following me on Instagram, definitely check it out. It is linked in the description below. And with that being said, let's get into my book haul. Alright guys, so I'm going to start this list off with YA fantasy. I forgot to mention in my intro that I leave timestamps for all the different genres down below. So if you're looking for a certain genre, definitely check that out. First up is Defy the Night by Brigid Kemmerer. This is the Fairy Loot edition. And as always with Fairy Loot, it is absolutely stunning with those beautiful purple sprayed edges. It's gorgeous. They always do a great job with their special editions. So, this book is by the same author that wrote A Curse So Dark and Lonely, which is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I was not a huge fan of A Curse So Dark and Lonely. However, I wanted to give this a shot, mostly because it's a Robin Hood retelling, and also it has to deal with the plague, which might be hitting a little too close to home with what is currently going on right now, but I was very curious, and this is getting very mixed reviews right now, so I don't know. I want to see. I feel like a lot of people who loved A Curse So Dark and Lonely aren't crazy about this book, so maybe the reverse will happen and I'll absolutely love this. But I am very excited to get to this. I've already started, so I'm hoping that this will be featured in my October wrap-up. Next up is a book that was actually featured in my most anticipated releases of 2021, and I totally forgot it was coming out in October until it showed up at my house, and I was so stoked. So I'm about halfway into this, and I'm loving it so far. And that is Kingdom of the Cursed by Kerri Maniscalco. This is the second book in the Kingdom of the Wicked series. The first book was YA. This book is NA. It is definitely more explicit. However, I love it. It's spicy and perfect. I felt like the first book, Kingdom of the Wicked, I didn't really believe the romance. It kind of felt a little not insta love, because they really don't love each other, but it felt like, I don't know. I didn't buy the relationship. And in this one, there's a lot more tension. There's a lot more angst. And without giving away too many spoilers, this follows Amelia. In this book, she is still trying to solve what she was trying to solve in the first book, Kingdom of the Wicked, and she's still accompanied by Prince Wrath. However, this book takes place in Kingdom of the Wicked with all of the 7 different princes of hell, and I love it. I'm very, very much enjoying it. This will definitely be featured in my October wrap-up. Like I said, I'm hoping to finish this by the end of the week. Next up, we have the second book in a duology another one that I completely forgot was being released in October until it showed up at my house. And that is When Night Breaks. And this is by Janella Engels. This is the second book from the series Where Dreams Descend, or Where Dreams Descend was the first book. And I gotta be honest with you guys, it has been a hot minute since I read Where Dreams Descend. I think I'm gonna have to reread it before jumping into this. I do remember I really loved the setting and the whole magical vibe it gave off, or the magical atmosphere. It follows a girl named Kalia, and I believe she is a sorceress or magician, and she's been isolated in this castle by like this guy, or I don't know if it's a castle. She's been isolated in this mansion type thing by a guy who's like trained her to do magic, and she really wants to do this contest known as Spectacular, but the guy who I really wish I remember the name of is refusing to let her go, so she sneaks out one night, does the contest anyway, and then some really bad things start happening, and I believe she ends up teaming up with like a judge from the competition, and it goes from there. But overall, I do remember very much enjoying the first book. Like I said, I need to do a reread before I jump into this, so maybe I'll vlog reading both of them together. Let me know if you guys want that spoiler-free or filled with spoilers. I always don't know which to do. But anyway, I'm very excited to get to this. And the last book under YA Fantasy is a book I'm very curious about. I don't know very much about it. And it is Beasts of Prey, and this is by Anya Gray. So I know this book is being adapted into a Netflix show, which is making me really want to read it because I want to read it before that show comes out. And this is the Fairy Loot edition. I'm not really sure what the difference is between this cover and the original. I will leave it down below the original cover so you can see, but I mean, this one's gorgeous as well. I think this follows a girl who works in the zoo, and then one day the zoo catches fire and this magic is released, and then the girl and another friend team up to try to like get this mythical creature. I could be completely off base here. I literally just read the synopsis and I didn't think you guys wanted me to reread the synopsis to you verbatim. So we will see. I think this is going to be a good time. It's getting very good reviews right now on Goodreads, so I'm very excited to pick this up. All right, moving on to new adult fantasy and adult fantasy. So this first book, I actually have read the series many, many times. It's just a special collector's edition that I am in love with. I am so happy. I waited for this series, this special edition series, for months. It was supposed to be released in August, and then, or it was supposed to be released in the end of July, then it got pushed to August, then I didn't get it until the end of September, which is actually perfect because it was right around my birthday, and that is From Blood and Ash, the Fairy Loot edition. It is so stunning, so gorgeous, so pretty, so worth the wait. I am absolutely obsessed. Oh my goodness. These books are beautiful. I literally jumped up and down when they came in. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the From Blood and Ash series, it follows Poppy, who is known as the Maiden. She is isolated in this tower, preparing for her ascension, and she's being isolated by these godlike beings known as the Ascended. They don't age, they don't get sick, they have black eyes, they don't go out during the day. And one day, Poppy is looking for a little bit of life. She ends up sneaking out, going to this club type thing, and meeting Hawk. And Hawk eventually becomes her personal guard, and the story goes from there, and it is absolutely amazing. It is one of my favorite series, if not my favorite series. It is not finished yet, unfortunately. They're on book 3, The Crown of Gilded Bones, and I don't think the next one comes out until March, which is a bit of a bummer. However, there is a companion series being written, Shadow in the Ember, I believe is being released in October. I'm so excited, but anyway, I absolutely love these books. I think these are my new favorite books in my collection, so excited to have these. All right, this next book I ended up putting on my Amazon wishlist, and my husband was very sweet and like went down and bought a bunch of books on there, and I had no idea how big this book was. So, Empire of the Vampire by J. Kristoff. First of all, this book is huge. It is a tome. I thought that it was going to be Nevernight size. I was very wrong, and also I was not a huge fan of Nevernight. I didn't love the writing, so I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy this. However, I'm a little bit more than a quarter of the way through it, and I am liking it very much. So this follows Gabriel, who is the last Silver Saint, and they are this group of people that go around killing vampires, and he's pretty much telling his story to a vampire after he's been captured. So we're pretty much just going through his life. This is very much like interview with a vampire, Name of the Wind like type of story, which I didn't think I would jive with. It's also not in chronological order, which is something that drives me insane. However, it is working. I am very much enjoying this, a lot more than I thought I was going to. So if you're someone who wasn't a huge fan of Nevernight, I would still give this a shot. It is very dense. There's a lot of info. So I actually, once I got a quarter of the way through this, I took a break. I've been reading Kingdom of the Cursed. I will jump back into this. I need to get this finished by the end of October. So I'm going to try to do that. But yeah, very much enjoying it. Happy I gave it a shot. And hopefully I will get this finished. All right, so next up we're going to move into spicy romance. I only have one book on this list. And I just need to know, guys. Like, don't judge me on this. Ice Planet Barbarians. So this has been going around. I saw it on TikTok. I saw it on Bookstagram. The cover is a girl who looks very happy with a blue alien. I want to know. I want to know what the hype's about. I want to know if it's any good. If you have read this book, please let me know in the comments down below. 1, did you like it? 2, what the heck was it about? And I think it's a series. Like, is the rest of the series any good? I am just so confused by this book. I believe it's about this girl who, once again, very much enjoying herself, ends up being taken prisoner by a group of blue aliens, and then I think maybe falls in love with one of them, or at least has a good time with one of them. I don't know, but I'm curious. So once again, let me know in the comments, and I will hopefully read this. I probably won't get to this in October just because I have so much on my October TBR, but hopefully at some point in November, we will see. All right, so all of the rest of the books, and there's a decent amount left on this list, are either horror, thriller, and there's a couple YA thrillers. mostly because Halloween is about to be here. I love reading horror books, thriller books, watching spooky movies. Fall is my favorite time of year, so I'm super excited to get to these books. And some of them I've already read. I'm not going to give you a full breakdown of them just because I want you guys to check out my October wrap-up. But first one, actually, I did finish, and it was very highly anticipated on my list for my October TBR. I was very excited to get to this, and unfortunately, I didn't love it as much as everyone else seems to, and that is White Smoke, and this is by Tiffany D. Jackson. Like I said, this was very high on my October TBR. I was so excited to read it, and it was fine. So it follows this girl who moves into a new town with her family, and it's a haunted house story. So there's creepy things that start happening. Also, this girl is dealing with a very serious anxiety disorder. She's terrified of bed bugs, and she sometimes uses recreational things in order to take care of that anxiety. And we're really just following her dealing with this haunted house. I didn't love it. I know a lot of people, first of all, if you like a haunted house story, I think you will love this. And I actually did very much enjoy this all the way up until like the last few chapters. I hated the ending of this book. Like, I really didn't like it. So personally, that's just me. I think it is creepy and eerie, and if you want to know, the whole reason I hated the ending is a huge spoiler. So if you want to know like the exact reason I didn't love it, message me on Instagram. Feel free to tell you. But yeah, it wasn't for me. But overall, decent haunted house story. Liked the first 3 quarters, hated the last. And next up we have another, I believe this is YA horror, but I'm not positive, and that is The Woods Are Always Watching, and I gave a terrible description of this book in my October TBR, but this is about I believe it's 2 girls, I haven't read this yet, 2 girls that one of them is going away to college, the other one is staying home, and they're kind of both resenting each other, and they end up going on this hike, I believe, in the mountains, and then creepy, eerie things start happening. So I am so excited to get to this. I'm hoping to read this after I finish Empire of the Vampire, which is taking a while, but I definitely am going to try to get to this in October. It seems perfect with a creepy wood setting, one of my favorite settings. So this should be a really good and spooky time. All right, and next up is adult horror thriller. So the first one has been on my TBR for forever, but I was waiting for the perfect, scary, eerie time to read it, and what better time than Halloween? So The Troop by Nick Cutter. This follows a group of Boy Scouts that go to this island where they're confronted by this like scary murderer guy, I believe. This has been all over BookTube. People really like it. They say it's really gory and there's like a lot of just gross imagery and eeriness, and I can't wait to read it. I hope it's going to be like a slasher horror movie. So very pumped to be reading this, and I'll probably read this around Halloween. And next up, we have Final Girls by Riley Sager. So I've mentioned in a few videos, I'm trying to work my way through all of the Riley Sager books. Riley Sager is one of my absolute favorite thriller/horror authors. I just love his twists, and he's just so good. And none of his books I feel like are predictable. I've read a lot of other very prominent like thriller authors, specifically Lucy Foley, and I just feel like all of her twists are so predictable, and not that way with Riley Sager. So this is Final Girls, one of the only ones I haven't read yet, and I believe it follows a girl who survived her friends being killed at this outing. She was the only survivor, and she becomes friends with another final girl, and then I think one of them ends up being killed, so she has to figure out what happened and solve it. I'm very excited to read this. I read Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix, who is another one of my absolute favorite horror authors, and I did not like it. I hated it. I just felt like it was not one of his best works, so I'm hoping this does a little better, and I'm very excited to read this in October. And the last 3 books on this list are all graphic novels, and it has been quite a while since I've read and reviewed any graphic novels, and I'm very, very excited about these. So the first one has the most autumnal, cute cover I've ever seen, and that is Pumpkinhead's. Oh my goodness, how cute is this cover? Let's see if I can get my camera to focus on it. It's so cute. It's so cute. I have absolutely no idea what this is about. I believe these 2 characters work at a pumpkin patch, and I glanced at the first couple pages, and I think she is trying to set this guy up with another girl that works at this fall festival before they go to college, and it just looks adorable and the perfect October graphic novel. I'm so excited to pick this up, so I will hopefully be reading this soon. And the next two graphic novels are not nearly as cute. So the first one is Something is Killing the Children, and this is by James Tynion, Werther, Dell'Edera, and Mikel Moretto. And once again, super creepy looking. It has that whole Darkwood setting, which I was talking about, which I absolutely love in horror. And I believe it's about a town where these children go missing, and the ones that are actually found are talking about monsters, and the art style in this looks so cool and eerie. I read another book or another graphic novel, I believe it's called The Pact, that kind of had a similar art style that was also very eerie. So very excited to read this. And the last graphic novel on this list is Wytches, and this is by Snyder, Jock, Nollingsworth, and Robbins. And this actually showed up when I bought Something is Killing the Children. It was like, would you like this one? And I was like, hey, yeah, this also kind of goes with the whole Halloween vibe. So I absolutely love the movie Wytches, I believe it's called, or The Witch. I'll leave the cover on the front. It's one of my absolute favorite scary movies. It is so creepy, and that ending, oh my gosh, I love it. So I'm hoping this will be a little bit like that, and given the synopsis, it did sound a little bit like that. So this family moves into this town, and they're trying for a new start, but something might be watching them from the woods. And I can't wait to read this. I think it's gonna be a great time. And here's the cover. I will say I'm not as crazy. I peeked inside this one too. I'm not as crazy with this art style, but we'll see if I can get over it. So can't wait to read this. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for checking out my birthday book haul. Please let me know in the comments down below. Have you read any of these books? Which one was your favorite? Or did you not like some of these? I am so curious. I want to know. And I said this already, but I'll say it again. I post new videos every Thursday and Sunday. And if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. I will see you all next week. Bye.